We start with Survival Saturday, the focus on Easter Road. Hibs and Kilmarnock duelling it out, both sides desperately trying to preserve their top flight status. Hibs' midweek defeat up at Ross County meant that they needed to beat Kilmarnock to avoid the playoff place. As for Kilmarnock, well, they just needed a point following their 1-0 victory over St Mirren, thanks to a goal from, who else? Chris Boyd. At Easter Road for us was Liam McLeod.
Terry Butcher remains confident Hibs will not be going down this season, and he welcomes Paul Heffernan back from a groin injury that looked like ending his season against his old side. Another former Killie player, Michael Nelson, is back from suspension. Killie stalwart James Fowler suspended, so his place goes to Barry Nicholson. It's the only change from the side that beat St Mirren. Chris Boyd scored the winner that night, and his 21 goals have been pivotal. That's Eremenko. The target was Boyd. Irvine might find him. That's Boyd! Flags up. The flag's up on the far side, spotted early by Craig Thompson, the referee. Maybury headed it clear, and it's very, very tight. Irvine put it back into the path of Boyd. Hibs with just one win in 18. It is a dreadful record. And the attack here with Heffernan. Ashcroft got in the way. Craig and Robertson! Well, Craig Samson with an excellent save there. Hibs have started the game the brighter of the two teams. We've seen that a lot this season, of course. They've ended up losing games that they have dominated. They cannot afford that to happen again in this one. Robertson denied by Samson. Terry Butcher sitting uncomfortably, I would have thought, as the corner comes in, top the line from Nicholson. I think it was Robertson who the initial header here, it was goal bound, but for Barry Nicholson. Liam Craig's free kick isn't bad, and that's gone past from Forster, and another chance comes and goes for the Hibs. Excellent turnout from the Hibs supporters this afternoon. They're behind their team. Kilmarnock just need a point, and they're safe as Boyd rampages through. No shout from the Kilmarnock supporters because of the challenge on Chris Boyd here. The flick from McKenzie was terrific. Forster and McGivern with the challenge on Boyd. It's Barbour. Boyd! A stunning goal from Killie's top marksman, who is single-handedly keeping them in the top flight. Goal number 22 of the season for Chris Boyd. And each one is becoming more and more important to him and to the team. McKenzie. Kilmarnock going for a kill here. Gets it back from Boyd. Good interchange. And Williams has to make the save at the expense of a corner kick. Well, Hibs rattled with that goal coming just before half-time. McKenzie trying to make their troubles even worse. Clingan the sub. Finds Nicholson. Real vibrancy about Kilmarnock in the second half. Boyd! Almost made it 2. And almost made the task too tough for Hibernian, who have only scored 3 times in their last 9. They need 2 in the second half here. Collins does well. Paul Heffernan. Liam Craig. So unlucky. He has shuddered the crossbar of Craig Samson here. Liam Craig almost levelling matters. The likes of Hamilton or Falkirk will await for Hibernian if they can't turn this around in that playoff. This is Alec Harris. They're not even going to get the corner here, I don't think. Pascali with a challenge. Collins claims it came off him last. I think Harris was going for goal here. Alan Johnston under pressure in this very city last week as they went down to Hearts. It's headed down by Owain Tudor-Jones, the sub. Nothing, absolutely nothing falling for Hibernian. Time rapidly running out for the Hibs. This is Ryan McGivern. Kilmarnock throwing bodies in the way as they have done all afternoon. Harris gets it across and Samson smothers it at the feet of Jason Cummings. Frustration for the Hibernian youngsters who were combining there, at least trying to. And what a turnaround and what a difference a week makes in football. Not even a week for Alan Johnston. Hibs free kick, but Kilmarnock are almost there and Hibs have given it away. This is Eremenko. Good skill from him. And he forces Williams to knock it out for another corner kick. And Kilmarnock playing down the clock expertly here. Pascali heads clear. That's it. Kilmarnock are staying in the top flight and Hibs face a fight for survival.
I don't think there was much in it between all the teams in the bottom six. You can see the way the table's panned out. I think St Mirren finished above us in goal difference. So that just shows you there's not much between the teams.
Once again, it's Hibernian nil. You know, it's soul destroying. It's disappointing. It's heartbreaking. And many, we're all devastated because of where we finished, and we simply haven't, put enough goals in the back of the opponent's nets. And obviously, when they get opportunities, they tend to do it. And it's the small chances that are created against us, but they end up in the back of our net. So, there's the difference. And until we can put the ball in the back of the net with regularity, until we can get the break, sometimes, just anything, we'll continue to try and make chances and continue to play. But we've got 10 days now between now and the first playoff match. We'll do a lot of work on that. We'll certainly work very hard and get back together again, because we have to, and we will do. And we'll get there. So it's hard to look forward to these games now at this moment in time, because once again I feel like you've been slapped in the face, and I can only say sorry to the Hibs fans, because we put them through the ringer, and we're put through the ringer on the sidelines as well, because it just wouldn't go in.
It was a huge result. Hibs consigned to the playoffs. After the match, around 200 Hibs fans voiced their anger outside the ground, calling on Chairman Rod Petrie and manager Terry Butcher to resign. Today, Rod Petrie released a statement in which he said, 11th in the table is a dismal outcome, well below what the club expects and well below the capabilities of the management team and the players. We are sorry not to have achieved better results in 2014. It goes on. In 10 days, we have a playoff to win over 2 legs. The players and the manager need your support to make sure we take care of business on the field and finally put this season behind us. And finally, 2014 will be a year of change for Hibernian as we move through the summer. The wind of change will blow through the club to enrich and reinvigorate it for the benefit of every Hibernian supporter. Interesting words from Rod Petrie. Billy, sounds kind of like he might be taking a back seat in the future at Hibs, but right now, how much of a mess are they in?
Some would say taking a back seat, some would say ducking for cover. Yeah, he's not missed anybody in that statement, has he? But no. They have an opportunity to get out it. They're up against, or they could be up against 2 very good teams, or one in Falkirk certainly yesterday, beat Queen of the South, and then Hamilton, full of energy. But I've got a feeling they'll get themselves out of the situation, but they're not going into it in good fettle, aren't they? Low in confidence. The teams that are playing in the playoff are going to have that winning mentality, full of confidence. It's a difficult one for them. They're a huge club, but they're right in the mire. They've
been in free fall, Lyle, haven't they? Are you surprised by the fact that they've slid down the table to this extent?
Very surprised. From when I came up here, they were a good few points ahead of us, 8-10 points. I'm not too sure what it was, but to find themselves in the predicament they're in now, a club that size it doesn't seem right. And if we were to lose Hibs and Hearts from the SPL, I'm not too sure. It wouldn't be a good time for Scottish football.
It's been a drastic decline for Hibernian in the second half of the season, and this graphic sums it all up. Halfway through the season, 29th of December, after 19 games, Hibernian were 7th in the table on 24 points, mid-table respectability. And of course, at the end of this season, today, they are in 11th place in the dreaded playoff spot on 35 points. Since Terry Butcher's come in, well, it's just got a lot worse, you'd have to say. And this is what they face now over the next 10 days. They will play the winner of the championship semi-final playoff, Falkirk versus Hamilton Academical. That's on Tuesday, the first leg. The second leg is on Sunday, the day after the Scottish Cup final. Whoever emerges from that will then take on Hibernian on the 21st of May, and then it's at Easter Road for that 25th of May showdown to see if Hibernian will or stay in the Premiership or not. And Billy, what's your hunch? Will Hibernian be playing championship football next season?
As I said, I think I've got a feeling they'll get out of it, that big support in the last game. Maybe the other teams, the team they're going to play against, picking up injuries, suspensions. But can they handle that mentality? I'm not sure about the Hibs players. They've not handled it, the downward spiral, for a long time now. Can't seem to get themselves out the rut, but the pressure is all on them.
We've been expecting them to get out of this somehow, but they just haven't, have they?
Yeah, I think they've been, against like your Partics and your Ross Counties and St Mirren's, etc., they've been looking over the shoulder, waiting on them dropping points instead of getting on with their own business and getting that vital win. So they've not handled the situation at all well for a few months now. Find themselves in the pressure pot, isn't it?
Huge credit to Kilmarnock for getting themselves out of it, Lyle. And Chris Boyd, we always thought he would be the difference, and so it transpired. This was midweek against St Mirren, his winning goal.
Well, he's a striker in form,
yeah,
and he scores goals. And to be fair to him, when we've played against him, he's a handful. So there's no luck, or he just happened to be there when the ball came in. He puts himself in great positions, and he scores a lot of goals because of it. Now, he seems to be the difference between potentially staying up or being in the playoffs. So fair play to Killie, they've pulled themselves out of it. No one really thought it would be Killie and Hibs. Everyone thought it would be Thistle and Ross County and the likes of St Mirren. But fair play to him, he scored the goals in the last week that keeps him up.
Absolutely.
And he'll look forward to his summer now.
He's been lethal, John.